Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Francesca. It's your girl Francesca again, and today we're looking at two important areas of help. So one of the episodes that I had, we talked about why moms would need help at different seasons of their life. Today I want us to look at family help versus paid help. Which is more effective? Which would you prefer to have? So I was having a conversation recently with my friend, and she was like, I wish I wish my mom never came to help me when I had a baby and all that. And the conversation kind of progressed to an aspect where she was telling me, oh, she didn't help me do stuff that I expected her to do for me as my mom. I basically still had to do almost everything myself, even though people would supposedly think that I have help, because obviously my mom is around. I've just had a baby, so everybody thinks that I'm living the best life because I have help. Obviously, that's what people would think, that you have help, therefore they don't really need to offer you more help. So it dawned on me that really people would be on either side of the divide. They would be thinking, which would I prefer? Having somebody I pay to come offer me the help that I need, or have a family member come into my home to offer help? Even though technically it's not paid, it says they're living in your house, but in a way you're paying, because you're basically offering shelter or what have you to them, as some sort of payment or some sort of thank you or whatever it is that you want to call it. So we were talking about it, my friend and I, and she was like, if my mom wasn't my mom, really think about it, would I have her come to my house after having a baby to stay? If she wasn't, I don't think so, because I don't think she will give me the kind of help that I need at that season of my life. So this is something that I wanted to talk about, really, to just address some areas, provide a checklist, something to guide us, something to guide people that would want to, do a comparison between hiring help and having their family member come over to live with them as some sort of help. You're helping them and they're kind of helping you. So I asked a few other friends, what would you rather have somebody you pay, or have your sibling, your mom, cousin, your husband's family stay in with you and offer you help? And I got very, very, very different views, opinions and all. Some said that I would rather have somebody that I'm paying come in and live with me, rather than have a family member living with me. Or I would rather have a help that comes into my home and leaves after a while, of course. So not the typical homekeeper or whatever it is that is called, but basically somebody that would maybe come in the morning, then be out of your house in the evening after all the chores are done, and then you get to pay the person some sort of salary. So kind of like a housekeeper, really. That's what I'm looking at, versus you having a sibling, your mom, a cousin, or any of those live with you. I've been on both sides, if I would say. I remember when I was much younger, I did live with my sister, and while I am not the typical help, I did offer some help in different aspects of our home, which was good because it was basically mutually beneficial to both of us. She could trust me with her kids, I could rely on her for some different types of support, really, emotional, financial. It was a solid relationship, if I would say so myself. I've also had people coming to help me in my home as a married woman having kids, come in, do some chores for me, and then go. I've also had some people stay with me as siblings and live with me and also be of help to me. So really, it depends on which side of the divide that you're on. It depends on what you've had to experience. It depends on what you've had to go through. Then you would be a bit, skeptical about either of them. So help, really, we're not just considering somebody that will just come in, stay with you, and you know just do the barest minimum, really, because they are family. We're looking at somebody that would actually be the help that you need. Be the help that you need. So when we talk about the help that you need, we're talking about somebody reliable. We're talking about a worthy support. We're talking about somebody that you can depend on. You know how it is that you can just hop up, go out of the house and be rest assured that your kids are well taken care of. That kind of help, that kind of support, somebody that works within your set boundaries. So if this is something that you do in your home, this person is willing to abide by those instructions. I've had somebody work with me a while ago, and basically trying to tell me how to do things, basically try to tell me, oh, this is not how you would do them, this is how you would do them, or no, this is not the ideal way to raise your child, this is the ideal way to raise your child, in your own home. While suggestions are welcome, the person should not be taking the lead in how you want your home run. How you want your home run, regardless of who the person is, family or otherwise, paid help or otherwise. It's important that you get to have the final say. You get to decide what you want to do in your home. You get to decide how your home should be run. This is something that is important. This is something that would also give you the kind of comfort and assurance that you need, as a mom. So today I'm going to be providing us with a checklist of what effective help should look like. This episode is basically just going to help you so that when you're deciding on who to bring, either as hired hand or as a family member who's also going to be offering you help, whether unpaid or unpaid, really, you want to have something, a standard by which you gauge them by. You want to have something that, okay, this is the background to which I'm checking out what you're going to be doing or what you will be helping me with. So first things to look out for, you want to look at reliability and backups. You want to look at the ability of this person being there for you. So one of the reasons we require help is because there are certain things that you cannot do by yourself, or you cannot be in multiple places at the same time. Take, for instance, you have 2-3 kids. One has swimming, one has soccer, one has another activity. Obi is tied up, and it's just you that has to navigate this various extracurricular activities for those children. Imagine they were at competing times, So you need somebody to be able to be there, to help you navigate some of those times. I remember when my son and my daughter were having the same not the same extracurricular activities actually, but it was at the same times, the same day of the week. So I needed to juggle that, and of course my husband is a bit busy, right? So it was just me to drop both kids at those activities. So this is what I did. I got someone, so I drive my son for basketball, drop him at basketball, tell the coach that I will be right back, I just need to drop off my daughter at a dance class, okay? And then I take my daughter to a dance class. I have the help. stay at the basketball place just in case if there's emergency or anything. Somebody can reach me on the phone and call me and say, oh, you need to be here right away, or this is something that you need to do right now, so I leave that there, and I'm sure that there's somebody there looking out for him while I take my daughter for a dance class, and I stay with my daughter. A dance class, fortunately, a dance class ends about 15 minutes or thereabout before basketball ends, so I'm always able to swing her, pick her up from dance class, rush back to basketball, grab the help, and grab my son at the same time. So that was easy. Imagine I didn't have that. It would have been very difficult to navigate that season of my life. You also want to look at somebody that is flexible. A friend of mine and myself were trying to hire somebody, and we got somebody that supposedly very good, really, supposedly very good. She could checked all the major boxes that we had, but one of the things that she didn't have was flexibility. It was so difficult navigating our set schedule. So she wasn't flexible at, I cannot do this, oh no, I cannot be here, no, I cannot do that. And we're like, the only reason why we need this is because we want our lives to be a bit easier. So if you're not going to be flexible in your schedule as a help, then I do not want to hire you. I do not want you to be there for me, because you can't be there for me based on the kind of schedule that you have and your own availability, to be flexible. You also want to look at cost and value. So one of the major reasons why most people prefer family help is because it's cheap, it's unpaid most times. Okay, I was even with my sister, she did not pay me. I know she's probably watching this video and she'll be like, eh. So, but she did not pay me, right? So it is cheap. You're not being paid for the help that you offer, So most times people that get family help do not want to pay. They are looking at their cost. They are looking at, can I really afford help? Especially in this part of the world where it is difficult to even pay for help. You're looking at paying them per hour. It's difficult to afford that. So just having your family come live with you and help you do what they can is the most affordable, at most times. Value. For those that consider paid help, they look at the value that the paid help will bring to the table. So you're looking at, what can this person help me do? What can this person help me navigate? How can this person be useful, be important for me, for what I need? So those are crucial things. You need to put them side by side. Cost, value, which is more important? You get to decide, because it is your family, right? So you get to decide which one is the most important for you at every season of your life. Another thing is you want to look at somebody that is willing to respect boundaries, work within the boundaries that you set in your own home, respect privacy. You don't want somebody that is working with you, offering you help, housekeeper, nanny. You don't want somebody that will be in your business. You don't want somebody that once you turn and you walk out of the house, there are whispers and you discover that they are basically talking about you because of the help that you hired, So you want to be careful. You want to make sure that whoever you're looking for is working within defined boundaries that you've established, defined boundaries, they're respecting your privacy, no barging into rooms that they are not supposed to barge into. And of course, this is not home video where there will be a room locked up and hired help is scared, and when they go there they see one head and two goats and all those kind of things. No, we're just talking about regular homes, modern day homes, working class families, professionals, and the rest. People that are busy, people that have busy lives, that need help to make their lives a little bit easier. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have people that will respect some of your, the boundaries that you have, your space. Another thing that you want to look out for is skills and training. Whoever you want to hire, do they have the requisite skill? Do they have the training to do the job? Do not be sentimental. I remember hiring somebody to do something for me, and After a few days, I had to let them go. And I think my husband and I had a conversation, and he was like, oh, that was unfair. You shouldn't do that. How would you feel if somebody lets you go after a couple of days? And I was like, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for somebody that can help my life, that can make some things easier for me. The only reason I hired this person, she's not my friend. He's not my friend. So you have to make that clear. This person is not your friend. They are hired to do a job. If they cannot do that job, please let them go. I think one of the things that affects us mostly, especially moms, really, we're very sentimental. Oh, how would this person feel? How would that person feel? How would this, how would that happen? How would that happen? The truth is, you have to get to a point where you can differentiate between your emotion and what you need. This is what I need to make this easy for me. The only reason I'm hiring this person is because I need that help. If the person does not have the skill, the training to provide the help that I need, then there's no point keeping that person. It's just good to just let the person go. Hey, I thought you had this skill, but we can both see that you do not. So I would have to let you go. It's as simple as that, no sentiments. You haven't hurt anybody. There's nothing that you did that is out of place. It's just basically the truth. Based on what the person is doing. You also want to look at cultural fit, your child's needs. You want to look at, what does my child need at this point? Will this person be able to fit in to address this need? Okay? Working moms, parents that are busy, they are looking for tutors. They are looking for somebody to take homework off their hands because they've had a long day. They don't have the time to sit down and start doing, oh, this and that is what is this, So sometimes you want to hire somebody to tutor your kids. You want to make sure that this person can address that need, the need that you have identified in your child. So it's not just because you feel like this is what you want to do. You must have seen a need in your home that needs to be addressed. And the only way to address it is to hire somebody. So you must make sure that you're hiring somebody that fits specifically that need, that can address that need, Cultural fit too, I spoke about that. Somebody that aligns with your culture. What does your family believe in? What do you guys trust? My family were believers, right? I want to hire somebody that recognizes our faith. I don't want to hire somebody that will come maybe while I'm busy or something, is teaching my children something different from the faith that I've exposed them to. So I want that culture to be respected, I want that culture to be respected. I want to get somebody that has the kind of ideologies that I do. So my viewpoint, you have something similar. You're looking at something from the same view as I am looking at it, or as my husband will be looking at it. So we don't want somebody that has completely different ideas from what we have. You want to consider that when you are hiring as somebody. So beyond the checklist, really, there are various arguments for both sides. Having family, excuse it, is amazing. There's nothing like it. There is this comfort, this assurance that comes with having family. You can close your eyes and not be worried. Most times, I say that with caution. Most times, really, unlike hired help, sometimes for the first few months, you're still, it's a teaching period. You're trying to understand the person, get to know the person. Is this a good person? Is it a bad person? And all what, So there are various arguments for them. Most importantly, beyond the checklist, beyond what I have dropped today, you want to make sure that you are looking at what fits your family. You're looking at what will work for your family. You're looking at who will take a lot of stress off your plate. You're looking at who will make your life easier. So take sentiments out of the way when you're making this decision. Okay, the checklist is just a guide. You also have the things that you want to see in a help, family or not. You want something, you have clarity regarding what you want to see in somebody. So you must pay attention to that. Pay attention to that and find somebody that fits that bill. Find somebody that fits that view. Finally, your family is a priority. In all of these things, let your family be priority. Let your family be the reason you're hiring who you are hiring. And make sure that whoever you are hiring fits that priority. Make sure that whoever you are hiring helps you as you want to be helped, not as they think that you should be helped. I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome. This is Conversations with Francesca. Until I see you again, is your girl. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.